Yeah, cruising in the ocean with my fellas, waving at the shore, we got all them people jealous. They see that we shining from way over yonder. Gotta thank my father, my sponsor, for putting me on board and also giving me the capability to live life with no fear, create buzz with no beer. God is the reason why I live like this. Now everybody hating me, now I feel like Chris. Working out, eating right, now I look like this. Phone filled with different numbers, now my ex all pissed. Now I'm playing, she don't care cause she move like this. Man, I ain't hating cause she bad, man, we all ruthless. Man, I got money in my pocket, diamonds on my pinky and that brain.
Josiah's in the building. 513, represent. Shout out to the We Support Josiah movement. Be No Connection, you suck. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna come at you guys, you know what I'm saying? But I cook. Let me cook right quick. Let me cook. Here we go. Alright. Y'all the No Connection, huh? Y'all the No Connection, huh? Y'all the No Connection, huh? Please, that's barely no logic. Low budget NWO, your whole vibe microscopic. BZ breathing heavy like his verses need a hospice. Larry trying to preach, but the sermon's all gossip. Y'all the side quest, I'm the main storyline. Your promo got more views declined than signed. BZ Uber hat tilted like he driving through shame. Larry autographing photos, can't spell his own name. I'm from the natty boy, this ain't a fair scrimmage. Y'all connection weak, Bluetooth with no image. Talk brotherhood loud, but your handshake timid. The only thing y'all lift is each other's gimmick. BZ rhyme like he's choking on the punch, he ain't land. Larry act tough till the mic hit his hand. Being no sub broke, they do 2-for-1 scams and still couldn't profit. I'll support the brand. BZ say we legends, boy of what era? Sound like a mixtape lost in C era. Larry's bars outdated, need a software error. Being nailed the group chat, they don't get no chatter. They claim connection, but they lag make flow. I seen better sync and the renders reload. Man, BZ couldn't cook with a stove tutorial. Larry dressed like a villain in a church memorial. Bars. BNL, nah, disconnection. BNL, nah, misdirection. BNL, nah, they lack affection. BZ talk loud, Larry need correction. BNL, nah, disconnection. BNL, nah, misdirection. BNL, nah, they lack affection. BZ talk loud, Larry need correction. How you like them apples? My little intro right quick. We gonna come back, do a Monday Raw recap. Noteworthy episode. Give me a sec. Love y'all. All right, we back. Josiah, the leader of the We Support Josiah movement. We in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? We gonna recap Monday Night Raw live in Perth, Australia, coming off the heels of a very memorable, very outstanding Crown Jewel event. Yeah. In case you guys need a little bit, some details as to what happened during Crown Jewel, I will go right ahead and recap that very quickly because I'm not going to go over the whole show. I'm sorry. I had my opportunity to do that about a couple of days ago, but we're here now. So I'm going to go ahead and just talk about what happened as far as the results and the matches, okay? So here we go. Let's go right ahead and speed through it very, very quick so you guys have to understand where I'm coming from. But other than that, yeah, man, we are going to, we're gonna move on. So yes, they kicked off the night at Crown Jewel. Well, not the night, but early in the morning because it was like very early for the show to start Saturday. Bronson Reed took on Roman Reigns in an Australian street fight. Great match, bloodline storytelling in the mix, and Bronson Reed came out the victor. Then we had Stephanie Valkyrie take on Tiffany Stratton in another pretty good, solid match. Stephanie Valkyrie went ahead and won and became the very first woman to win the WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Matter of fact, for those that don't know, in 1 year, in one span of a year, she won all 4 women's titles in the WWE history. You know what I'm saying? She won the NC Women's Championship, NC North American Women's Championship, and then she won the NC Women's Championship. She became double champion. And then she went ahead and won the women's title, as we know, from being Io Sky. And then we got her being Tiffany Stratton. The WWE is really pushing Stephanie Valkyrie to be like one of one. And I ain't mad at it. The girl's talented. She's over. The crowd loves her. I love her. She's attractive. She's fine. And, you can't decline her. So anyways, The next match was John Cena taking on AJ Styles. This had to be, in my opinion, match of the night. I would think Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins was a close number 2. But John Cena and AJ Styles perhaps had the match of the night. It was a fantastic match. It was outstanding. The callbacks to John Cena's feuds with various legends like The Undertaker, Kane, I want to say, Bray Wyatt. He did, if I'm not, did he do Edge? No, that was Sami Zayn. What else did he pull off? He did Randy Orton. He just paid homage to a bunch of different people. John Cena is great like that. This is his final year. He's looking to have a lot of fun. Why not? And at the end of the day, hey man, this is a retirement tour that, for what it's worth, got better as time went on. Got very much better as time went on. And AJ Styles and him put on another instant classic. And then to go show you that at the end of the day, when they really are on, ain't nobody better than Cena or Styles. So anyways, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley took on Rhea Ripley, the native from Australia. By the way, Bronson Reed was also a native of Australia, so they got big pops. Obviously, that's their hometown. Io and Rhea took on the Kabuki Warriors and beat Asuka and Kairi Sane. That match was also pretty excellent. Also got a lot of great rave reviews over it too. That was dope. And then, last but not least, Seth Rollins. And we're going to get to Seth Rollins very, very, very well, because I'm also going to point out something that also I found out through a report about Seth Rollins, that we're going to get into that after the full Raw recap. But yeah, Seth Rollins went on to defeat Cody Rhodes for the very first time since Cody Rhodes has gotten to WWE. Cody has had Seth's number. He's beaten him 3 times. I believe the first encounter was WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes' return. The next one was Backlash, and then the last one, I believe, for them was Hell in a Cell in June, and that's when Seth beat Cody Rhodes while Cody wrestled with a torn pec. It looked ugly, but he went ahead and got the job done, and Cody has propelled forward ever since. So, yes, but Seth Rollins finally beat Cody Rhodes. He's become the second title holder of the WWE Crown Jewel Championship. And that is dope. You know what I'm saying? That's awesome. So, yeah, man. But, yeah, we're going to get into Raw. This was my little, appetizer before we get to the main course. So, here we go. Give me 1 second. So, we kick off Monday Night Raw with the guy who has to call himself Monday Night Rollins. That's right. Seth freaking Rollins and Division came out to You get the point. You get the point. Yeah, get the point. The Visionary came out, you know what I'm saying? He talked about how he said that this night, as far as Raw, I guess you can say, is about him. But he took a moment to acknowledge the greatness of the group. By the way, we are reading from Bleacher Report. Shout out to my guy Chris Mueller, who wrote this and put this together. And I'm going to give you my takes because I did watch Raw all together, just so people are knowing, because people be like, Josiah, you won't rewatch your shows. No, I watched the show, I watched this, and I know I be lifing. I take my time giving you guys uploads. But here we are, and like I always say, even on my YouTube channel, go back to my channel, Josiah Willis. I do reactions. Ain't no time like the present, okay? So yes, anyways, the Visionary said that this night is about him, but he took a moment to acknowledge the greatness of the group he has assembled. He took time to put over each member of the group individually. He definitely did Braun Breaker well. He did Bronson Reed well. But before he even got to them, he even talked about Paul Heyman. You know what I'm saying? And how much he got love for Paul Heyman and gave him a hug, all that and then some. The Australian crowd gave Bronson Reed a great reaction. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. He got a big pop. It was awesome. And Bronson is an interesting case because for those that don't know, and if you do know, he was fired by WWE back in the later downfall of NXT within the Black and Gold era. He got let go. And it was very sudden. He was just champion there. He was doing very well. He's babyface. People loved him. And then all of a sudden, it's like the WWE decided to let him go. And it was like, what? What was going on? And I don't believe it was Hunter's call. I believe it was a Vince McMahon call, low budget call, budget cuts, whatever you want to call it. Budget cuts, okay? They had to let him go. And he could have easily went, you know what, my whole career's over. I lost my dream job. You know, blah, 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 blah. I'm done. But no, Bronson went in here and repackaged himself and went by his name, Jonah. Went over to Impact Wrestling for a time, had a brief feud with Josh Alexander. I saw it, that's how I know. And then he also went to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he beat Kazuchika Okada. You're talking about the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, like the biggest star they have there, the John Cena of that promotion. You know what I mean? Like, he beat him, and that was a huge, you know what I'm saying? So when Dodie kept calling him back, or they called him back around 2022, he came back side with The Miz. They had that brief storyline for a little bit, and then he's been, you know, kind of like just everywhere. 2024, I believe, was the year he really came in and showed out. 2024 was his standout moment, for sure. But yeah, it's just great to see that he went from all that to receiving that warm welcome in his hometown and that large, like, arena of all places, too, where I'm quite sure it had to be surreal to him. Like, just some years ago, you was just released, and now you are living your dream, and you're killing it. So, kudos to Bronson Reed. Happy for him. Can't wait to see where he goes next. And Braun Breaker, too. The World Heavyweight Champion called him the new Tribal Chief to a mixed response. Are you sorry? Because everyone was actually low-key, like, down with it for real. They were down with it. I remember when Seth was hilarious, though, when he told Braun Breaker to go right ahead and then shake his head. He'd do the, what do you say, do the tweak, do the something, do this. And Braun did it. And they were like, yeah! It was comedy freaking gold. For a bad guy group, they were hilarious, man. Oh my gosh, they had me crying. But anyways, Rollins said he has done everything on his own, which got a BS chant from the fans. And rightfully so. He claimed he didn't need anyone, but he has chosen to align with the man in the ring because he is a visionary. All right. Now, when Seth said what he said about Bronson, and Paul, I knew in my guttural feeling that something was off. And I legitimately felt, oh yeah, we're going there. I didn't know if they was going to pull the trigger right away, but it was a foreshadowing of what was to come by the end of the night. Now, I ain't gonna spoil nothing. If you haven't seen it already, you have to know. If you've not seen Raw, I don't want to spoil anything. Make sure to turn off your YouTube notifications, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I wasn't going to mention his name. That means you too, Larry. Just so you know. Anyways, depending on how you read into it, this segment might have planted some seeds for Breaker to eventually feud with Rollins over the world title. Oh, okay. This was a decent I don't think it was decent, but hey, that's my opinion. I thought it was a fun promo, but you know, okay. This was a decent promo, but it was surprising nobody interrupted it. That's not a bad thing, just an observation. Okay. I don't know about it being beat decent. In my opinion, it was fun. The crowd was chanting, Seth is a... I ain't going to pronounce it because apparently you get in trouble for saying that. I don't care. Wanker. He called him a wanker. The fans popped when he called them the same thing. Yes, oh yeah, that was great. When Seth told them about themselves, that was great. It was almost like they were like, yeah, Seth acknowledged us, and he did. He sure did, man. It was great. He kissed Heyman on the head because the crowd chanted for him to do it. Yo, these international crowds are great, bro. I'm sorry, but the States, we got to do better. The States, we got to do better. You got to do better in the States, man. Come on, bro. They make us look like we're spoiled, bro. Come on, do better. The crowd being so vocal but not overtaking what was going on in the ring made this segment more fun. That's what I'm trying to get at, but you call it decent, so whatever. To kick out the first match that had for... Oh my gosh, I'm not even saying words right. We kick off the first match with Dominic Mysterio taking on Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. If you need a recap of what happened last week, there was a match with Penta, I think Dragon Lee and A-Styles. They took on... No. Wait a minute. Rusev was doing a match with Dominic. Did he have a match with Dominic? Yeah, he had a match with Dominic. And Penta got involved, caused Rusev the match. And Rusev, wanted to do the same thing towards Penta. So I'm guessing WWE is going to go in the direction of teasing a feud between him and Penta, which I ain't mad about that. That's going to help, propel both men forward. Great. Nothing wrong with that. So, yes, the Intercontinental Championship was on the line in the first match when Penta challenged Mysterio, but Rusev made it clear to Penta that he already had the next title match against whoever wins this one. That was in the backstage segment. And by the way, that was in a backstage segment when that happened. Dirty Dom was alone, with no one else from Judgment Day by his side. As soon as the bell rang, both men were throwing hands. They traded moves until Penta sent Dom out of the ring with a quick Hurricane Rana. He also sent Mysterio crashing onto the announce table with a back body drop as the show went to a break. We return to see Dom take control and fling the challenger into the ring post before hitting a suicide dive DDT. By the way, Dominic is very underrated. I don't think nobody gives him credit, but he is very underrated in the ring. And the suicide DDT that he be doing be looking nice, bro. It be looking nice. He almost sent Penta over the barricade into a small child. Oh, wow. But they managed to avoid it. Yeah. I didn't catch that, but okay. That was crazy. They fought through a nerve break, and we came back to see Penta dive off the ring post to take Mysterio down at ringside. By the way, that it's the way Penta does it, and it looks beautiful. He gets on top of the ring apron. There's a spot in the match where he got on top of the ring apron, and he did this crossbody onto Dominic. And it's the way Penta hits that crossbody that I just love for some odd reason. But it just makes it look and feel different, if I can best describe it. They fall through a nerve. Oh, we already said that. This was a fun match with some standout moments. Seeing Dom stand on his own 2 feet without the JD group was a nice change of pace. Penta is one of those performers who brings out the best in his opponents, and he made Mysterio look great. By the way, did Dominic have help? Maybe he did. I don't remember. But anyways, I'm not talking about the match, but like in his recent title defenses. And by the way, my boy Dominic, too, is a AAA Mega Champion. He's the Mega Campeon. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Rusev showed up, but Penta took him out with a dive over the top rope. This gave Dom a chance to grab one of his belts and the Timekeeper's bell hammer. This was such an Eddie Guerrero move. I love it. When the ref took the belt, Dom used a hammer behind his back. He nailed Penta with a 619 and a frog splash to get the win. So, for further context, what Dominic did was he hit Penta, I think, in the knee with the hammer. And then this man slid the hammer into his boot and went for a 619. By the way, if people didn't notice, the crowd was low-key really sided with Dominic over Penta. And Dominic is supposed to be the heel, while Penta is supposed to be the babyface. That was very interesting, but this is Australia, so different crowds, different states. You can't control how the fans are going to be. One minute they're going to cheer you, next minute they're going to boo you. As long as they're reacting, that's all that matters. But yes, Mysterio defeated Penta. Rusev isn't bad on the mic, but having a manager might be beneficial to him. He is better as a silent bad A who only speaks a few words when necessary. WWE, if that's the case, make a call to Lana, bring her back. There's no excuse. Bring her back. And they're together again, so that's another thing. Bring them back. Dom has a new neck tattoo of a lucha mask that really stands out. It took until 29 minutes into the show for the bell to ring for the first match, and then the show went to a break a minute later. The suicide dive DT Dom hit was cool. It wasn't perfect, but it was his first time using it as a match. No, he used it before. I think he did that move, if I'm not mistaken. Who did he wrestle? No, it was with Penta. Yeah, he sure did do it with Penta before. Yeah, when he did, I think when they did Backlash. Was it Backlash or was it another pay-per-view? Yeah, it was Backlash, and Dominic used that move against Penta. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, he did it. He did it before. But anyways, the crowd booed Penta when he went for the Three Amigos and then cheered Dom when he reversed it. Yup, sure did. That was interesting. That was so interesting. Rhea Ripley took on Kairi Sane. Now, before this come around, I'm gonna talk about this right now. Okay. There was a backstage segment that happened with Asuka slapping Kairi Sane for losing their match at Crown Jewel. Now, what was interesting to note here was Kairi has been playing this conflicted character. And she told Asuka about like her wound across her head and like, Asuka, look what happened to me, and maybe we should talk to EO, and boom, 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 boom. And Asuka's like, no, just screw EO. We're done with her. We're moving on. We're the Kabuki Warriors. We need to reign atop. You need to let that go. And Kairi's like, but I can't let it go. I love EO, and that's my friend, and we're supposed to be her friends, and why are we against her, right? So we're feeling bad. Like, I love the WWE is doing a great earned dog babyface character with Kairi and making her more sympathetic than Asuka being as ruthless. Asuka is very ruthless, cutthroat, does not care, and it kind of reminds me of like the old Asuka in NXT, where it was like Asuka was just real cocky, arrogant, destructive in the ring. No matter who you was putting her up against, she's gonna beat you, right? And Asuka for a time was undefeated. So if you follow history, you would know. But anyways, Asuka slapped her, and the crowd was meant to go, oh, and they did. And I remember thinking to myself, I feel like down the line, they're going to do a feud with Asuka and Kairi Sane. And to be perfectly honest, I love it. And Kairi, to me, is a babyface. I'm not saying that she can't be heel, but something about her just screams, I love you. I want to root for you. I want to support you. I want to see you succeed. Asuka, we've seen you succeed, but you'd have gotten full of yourself, and we're not liking that. We as fans are not liking that, so we're rooting for Kairi to get out of Asuka's grasp and eventually, come to her senses and get out of this abuse. So that's what it is right now. But yes, we had Kairi take on Rhea Ripley. Zayn ducked a lockup and hit a forearm to the back, but Ripley brushed it off. She tried to corner Kairi, but ended up taking a slap to the face. The Eradicator got angry and leveled her rival with a clothesline. Zayn got the upper hand for a moment, but Ripley hit her with a knee that turned things around. Sky and Asuka ended up brawling, but the Genius of the Sky was taken out by the combined efforts of Asuka and Zayn as the show went to a break. This was a good match, but it was hampered by the shenanigans at ringside. Ripley and Zayn, I'll take. Ripley and Zayn have had some great encounters in the past, but this fell a little short of what we know they can do. You're not. I don't want to give him an acknowledgement, but BZ is right about one thing. I can't stand to be on no connection, but you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna acknowledge BZ right now and say this. You're not supposed to always get a great match on a live television show. I don't care if it's on Netflix. It's still a live television show, all right? With that said, sometimes the WWE will pull off maybe 2 to 3 great matches at a time during a Raw or a SmackDown. We can't expect for them to do that all the time, as opposed to when they do their pay-per-view shows. You want to see great matches? Watch pay-per-views, okay? And hopefully they will attempt to do so. But I feel like sometimes we just ask too much, but I digress. Let me move on. Anyways, the second half was much better than the first because both women brought a lot more physicality to their offense. Sky prevented Asuka from interfering again, allowing Ripley to hit the riptide for the win. Asuka attacked Sky after the match, but Ripley took her down with a kick and then cleared off the announce table, and the crowd was popping. There's popping. They even gave her a big pop, which came out. And obviously, she's over. She's Australian, and she's gorgeous. I love you, Rhea. I love you. Zayn saved Asuka from taking the riptide through the table. The Empress of Tomorrow hit a DT on the table to the end of the segment, and Rhea sold it well. Let me just put it to you that way. Sold it very well. Yep. LA Knight gave a backstage interview that was interrupted by CM Punk. It's something about Punk and LA Knight that got, I don't know what it is. They got such a good, they have chemistry, but I can't tell whether or not it's good or great yet. I want to say good, really. And then there's moments in time I want to say there's potential for it to be great. But I feel like down the line, the WWE should really tap into that some more. LA Knight and CM Punk having a feud, I think that would do them both wonders for their careers. And technically speaking, they are, but more focus could be a lot more helpful. Zayn's entrance wasn't televised. Ripley's Northern Light suplex looked good. All right. Yep. The next thing we have is Bronson Reed taking on Jimmy Uso. Prior to this match, Jimmy and Jay had a talk backstage. There's a lot of cracks forming in the bloodline, and I'm not sure where this is going to go. Some have speculated that Jay is going to turn heel and side with, because the War Games is going to come here soon. War Games is coming next. I think that's the next pay-per-view, unless they want to do Bad Blood. I don't know. But Jay and Jimmy are going back to being at odds with one another, but it's a flip. Jay is now more of the, come on, let's get together, whereas Jimmy is like, Jay, calm down. So they're having their issues and they're having their problems, and Jay was trying to tell Jimmy that I don't need your help. Jay's like, Jimmy's like, then okay, then help me then. I'm gonna do things on my own. Boom, boom, boom. I got it. But Jimmy didn't come in there 100%. So Bronson Reed definitely took advantage. And what was interesting about Bronson Reed coming out was he put the ones up. This Auszilla man put the ones up and said, I'm the tribal chief now. It's not Roman Reigns. I beat him, so the way I look at it, I'm the tribal chief. But anyways, solid match. It was all right. It wasn't anything crazy. Bronson went ahead and hit him with the tsunami, got the victory. Cool, simple. Then we had Braun Breaker show up. He speared Jimmy twice after the match. Then they was going to beat him up some more. Jay came to the ring to make the save for his brother, but still kind of like had an issue with, Jimmy. It was, weird, but it's tying to the next phase of the Bloodline story, which is cool. Jimmy had his ribs taped up to sell Bean's spear through a barricade on Saturday, and Breaker's second spear looked nasty. I would not want to take a spear. I'll just say this right now. Braun Breaker, I'm a fan of you. I'm not taking no spears from you ever. See, I saw what happened with Actual Speed earlier this year. I'm good. Yep, I'm good. I don't need that. Anyways, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria took on Roxanne Perez and and Raquel Rodriguez. The chemistry between Raquel and Roxanne has really been growing on me, and I would not be surprised. I'm calling this right now. When Liv Morgan comes back, Raquel's going to side with Roxanne over Liv. It's going to happen, and we'll see that feud. And this new Bayley character, see Bayley's character right now is kind of like a split personality gimmick. It's like she's dealing with the hugger aspect of Bayley from back in NXT to the role model that came later on the main roster. It's like a mix. It's like the good and evil aspects of both characters are forming within her, right? And she believes that she has a shot with being with Valkyria's tag team partner. So we're seeing them coming up the ranks. Hopefully this leads to them challenging Charlotte and Alexa for the belts very soon, because I would like to see that match. Just saying. Backstage, Valkyria. Let me slow down my words. Here we go. Valkyria told Bayley that teaming with her against the Judgment Day this week was just a one-time thing because she can't depend on the role model to be consistent. And then Bayley tried, pull it off, said, we're going to do it. We're going to do it well. Come on, let's go. And Valkyria's kind of like, I don't know. So Valkyria found herself being double-teamed, so Bayley tapped in and helped her turn the tide in their favor. The babyfaces had control more often than the heels in this match, but the Judgment Day started building some momentum after Perez hit Bayley with a Hurricane Rana from the top rope. There was a spot in the match where Bayley was by the ring apron, and hold on. Bayley was kind of like just being down and out. She was kind of like about ready to be down on her luck. And Lyra slapped some sense into her. And next thing you know, there was like this shift within Bayley. Like a character reemergence came right out of her, and she snapped. It reminds me of when Alexa Bliss was doing the whole entire, Sister Abigail, Bray Wyatt thing, for a time. And she was snapped, from occasions like that. Lyra had slapped some sense into Bayley, which gave her exactly what she needed. She took out both opponents and got the win for her team with the Rose Plant to Perez. This was a solid match, but it's hard to tell what WWE wants to do with Bayley's character. I feel like the end game is Bayley's going to embrace both sides. She's going to embrace both sides. She's going to be positive 1 minute, negative the other. But I think she's going to embrace them, and then we're going to come together with another Bayley character arc that will emerge over time. Now, the question that people really should be asking is Bayley going to be a babyface still? Or is she going back to being a heel, a bad guy? We will have to wait and see. Michael Cole said Bayley has been sending him texts that were both nice and insulting. It changes depending on the day. It's always nice to see tag team partners coordinate their gear. The way Rodriguez hit the ring post looked way too planned. Cover up some more. It happens. It happens. You know, what can you say? There was a quick segment with Stephanie Valkyria coming out, and then I think Roxanne and Raquel also came out to also. At least I'm saying also. They came out to talk to Stephanie Valkyria and made it clear they're setting their sights and they have intentions on getting to the belt. So Roxanne stepped up to Stephanie Valkyria, sign me up. I want that match now. And yeah, we're gonna get that sooner rather than later. Oh, and they announced that Becky Lynch will take on Maxine Dupree for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to say IC title because that sounds too long. The WWE Women's IC Championship for next week. And I see AJ Lee returning already. So I think that's what's going to set up for all that. But yeah. Last but not least, hold on. Are we here? Hold on. Let me go right here and cut this off right quick. Okay, I think we here. We are here. We gonna cook. All right. Last but not least, drum roll, please. That sounds so weird. Let me stop. Anyways, main event, triple threat match. Jey Uso taking on L.A. Knight. Yeah. Taking on CM Punk. Like Mussolini. And triple threat match to close out Monday Night Raw. There were no alliances in this match, so all three men were brawling as soon as the ref called for the bell. The crowd was cheering for all three, but it felt like Punk had more of the noise behind him than either of his opponents. Interesting, yeah. Even before the match had started, the crowd sung Called Personality after the whole song had went off. And Punk was able to stand there just thinking to himself, like, wow, like they really are, loving this song. And it is a great song. Listen, it's one of my favorite songs. So it's great that wrestling fans nowadays are really singing wrestlers' theme songs and acknowledging their presence because, hey, Randy Orton went 15 years with Voices, and he just now started getting, the love for that song, which is crazy to me, but, it is what it is. Knight came close to winning when he hit Punk with the BFT, but Uso pulled him out of the ring. When Jay tried to hit splash, Punk got his knees up to the counter and then hit the GTS for the win. By the way, this match was excellent. Jay, LA Knight, Punk were on. They were on it. Was it perfect at times? Was a little bit clunky, sure. But once they really got going, Jay, Punk, and LA went nonstop. Again, commercials do not necessarily help. I get it. But they put on a pretty strong main event. I have to say, they all came to, play. Shout out to The Miz. And they showed out. They really did show out. So kudos to all three men for putting on a great performance, in my opinion. It was a great performance. But anyways, as Punk was celebrating, Ron's music hit and he came out with the vision. And we're like, oh, here we go. Punk and Seth Rollins, they don't like each other. They hate. The hate is real. The hate is deafening. Let's get it. So Rollins comes out, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't even put his hands on Punk at all. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed do it. Braun Breaker first attacked Jey Uso, ran and hit him with a spear. That man got some speed on him. I don't even want to say crackhead speed, but he got some speed on him. Okay, let's just say that. He speed through and hit Jay with that spear. And then he went and hit and did a spear towards LA Knight, circling around the ring, hit LA Knight with the spear, then got into the ring. And then him and Bronson proceeded to beat down Punk If the numbers game was too much, Punk got his butt beat down. Braun hit a spear when he goes from the rope to the other rope, and then bam, hits you right there. And then Bronson went ahead and got to the top rope and hit a tsunami down to the ground. I want to take a tsunami. Listen, Braun, I don't need no spear from you. Bronson, I don't need no tsunami from you. I love the Braun Bronze. The Braun Bronze is cold. By the way, give them the belts. Give them the tag team belts. Okay, if Ace Styles and Dragon Lee do not win the belts for next week because they're going to face Finn Balor and JD for the Raw tag team titles, if they lose, please, for the love of God, give them the tag team belts. However, even with me saying all of that, I don't know. I also forgot to mention there was another segment with Seth Rollins backstage where he was just being grateful and thankful towards Paul. He talked about how proud he was of Braun, how proud he was of Bronson, how far they've been doing great in the division. And he said that he felt something great was coming on the horizon. Again, planting seeds, not only from earlier, but even in the middle. So, here's what happened in the end. Because this is huge, noteworthy, unexpected, shocking. I did not see this coming at all. They took out Punk. Seth Rollins celebrating, he's posing with the vision, putting the world title up. And then Braun Breaker went towards the turnbuckle on the far right in the ring. Went over there, complimented his head. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I pull the trigger on Seth? But Seth did this for me, and we've been killing it, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And Braun said, yeah, I got to do it. Turns around and hits Seth Rollins out of nowhere with a spear. When I say my jaw dropped, okay? And mind you, and I don't even want to mention them, but I got to mention them even more. I don't want to because they're irrelevant to me. They're irrelevant. Come on. Why you keep doing this with me, my guy? Talking to my Aaron Josiah. Aaron Josiah, come on, man. Why you keep doing this with me, man? I don't want to acknowledge these guys. They suck. They suck. The B&O connection, they suck. But you know what? Larry did call it. All right? Larry did call it. The man had a nerve to try to come at me talking about something. I was right, and you was wrong. Sucker, you was partially right. Okay, I'm going to say this right now. You was partially right. All right? You said for it happened at War Games, and we haven't even got towards War Games. It happened so soon, so sudden. Shut up. You didn't call it right there. You did not. Don't act like you just did, because you didn't. But yes, the Vision have officially turned on against Seth Rollins. And if you need more proof, after Braun hit him, and by the way, that crowd popped like crazy. It was one of the best heel turns I've seen in recent memory, by the way. On Seth. And Bronson was looking. And then Braun came to him, to his face, and told him, make a choice. You either with me or you're not. And they stared at each other for a long time. Not a long time, but you get my point. Just lingering. And then Bronson proceeded to grab Seth's arm and swung him towards his side up by the turnbuckle. The crowd popping, they cheering like, oh, let's go, this is great, awesome. Braun hit Seth Rollins with a tsunami. And Paul Heyman, by the way, don't get a lot of credit for how great his facials are. Paul Heyman was shocked. That man was scared out of his mind. The way he was looking. He couldn't believe it. To the point where he was trying to check on Seth. He's like, man, come on, calm down. Like, let him go. Leave him alone. Boom, boom, boom. And then Braun came back towards around Paul and told him the same thing. Make a choice. You either with me or you not. Bronson was already with him. So Paul wasn't given no choice. Paul Heyman shook both their hands and raised them up. The crowd popped. The Vision is no longer with Seth Rollins. And the crazy part about this, This is Seth Rollins' group. This is Seth Rollins' trademark. This is what he's all about. The visionary. This is what he's all about. And he got taken out by his own group in the span of 1 year. We haven't even gotten towards 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030. 1 year. All it took was 1 year. And Bryan and Bronson are moving forward without him. Crazy. Strong way to end Monday Raw yesterday. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really executed very well. And to be fair, and Hunter does a great job of just finding heel turns. Seth Rollins did say he didn't need them. He said he didn't need Paul Heyman. He didn't need them for his success. He didn't need him for to win the world title, which, by the way, this is all complete BS. Yes, you did, Seth. You did need these guys in order for you to tower over and take control of the WWE that you had saw fit. Okay? This is your vision. But what he didn't see, what was he, because of his hubris, he was blind to see that he told Bronson, and Paul, all within the same ring together, he didn't need them. So in Braun's mind, he probably said to himself, okay, I don't need you either. I didn't necessarily needed you. I just joined you because hell, it was going to elevate my career, and Paul Heyman is a great mind. Other than that, I didn't need you. And to be fair, Braun was already killing it on his own. He didn't. It wasn't like Braun was struggling on his own. He just lost the title against Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania, and that was it. So he didn't necessarily need Seth Rollins, but to a degree, he did until he was no longer useful. He used them up. And Bronson makes kind of like the most sense, too, for him to turn on Seth because they already have a shared history. So we're quite aware of that, okay? But anyways, yeah, that happened. And then, yeah, they stood tall. By the way, they said the attendance for SmackDown, Crown Jewel, and Raw was 40,503 people. That's insane. That's insane, bro. Oh, man. This was dope, man. This was a great episode of Monday Raw. I really thought this was awesome. I really did. What else did I forget to mention? Oh, this is what I'm going to leave you guys with. And then I'm going to go right here and wrap this up because your boy got to handle his business. I got to be busy doing something else today. I love y'all, though. We support Josiah. We support Josiah. I support you guys. I support all y'all. Everything you do. There was a report that came out that said Seth Rollins actually injured himself during his match against Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel, and it has something to do with a shoulder injury, right? And if you guys don't want to hear no more of this, you can go right here and skip, leave, turn this video off if you don't want to hear me spoil this. But I'm gonna tell you or report this to you. So Seth is injured apparently. And so I think what WWE needed to do was they had to pivot and they had to figure out an idea of what they was going to do with Seth, because I don't think they had a plan in place for Seth to actually be turned against. I think it was all last minute. I think they may have came up to this decision late Sunday or probably the early morning or Sunday. I don't know what time they started doing this. So. But they were still in Australia. Let's just say that. They were still in Australia. Seth was told there was a report that said that he was like shown to be in a sling for his shoulder. So his shoulder is not doing great. His arm is not doing great. So I believe this is a last minute plan, and they went ahead and decided, you know what, we're going to revert him back to being a babyface. Something similar happened to Edge. The difference was Cody had got hurt. When Cody had got hurt at Hell in a Cell, the WWE had to pivot and have Edge get turned against, because they needed him to be a babyface while JD was going to run things. That's when Finn Balor had joined the group. And, Edge had got turned against. I'm trying to think what happened with Edge for a little bit. They had to have him be a babyface. They went ahead and pivoted with that. Have him be a babyface, even though he just created this group. And now something similar has happened with Seth Rollins. but this time Seth is the one that's injured. So long-term wise, here's my questions that I have to ask, and feel free, you guys, to go in the comments below and predict what y'all think is going to happen. Do y'all see Seth Rollins defending the world title against Braun Breaker? Do y'all see Seth Rollins being ripped of the belt, or the belt has to be vacated and Punk has to go about winning it, or somebody else is going to win it? I don't know. How do you guys see this playing out? Because listen, as much as I don't like people getting hurt or injuries happening towards anybody, I do believe things happen for a reason. So I don't know what direction they're trying to go in, which is great. That is great television. Make it and keep making it unpredictable. You don't know where we're going to take it. So WWE, again, kudos to you guys for pulling the trigger. I just am considering, I'm questioning what direction you guys are going to go in next. And to say that I am intrigued would be a complete understatement. All right, so that was my full recap of Monday Night Raw. Tell me what you think about it. Did you guys enjoy the show? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you like it? Let me know. Let me know. All right, we are out. Let me go ahead and say right quick, like, comment, subscribe, share amongst your friends, amongst your family, friends, people who like you, people who don't like you. Obviously, we don't like the B&O connection. We don't like BZ. We don't like Larry. So stay supporting your boy. Yeah, I'm out. Love you. Peace.
I feel that you ought to go. Treating me like I'm the man. I feel like you ought to go. The things that you do with your hands, I feel like you ought to go. The way that you twerk when you dance, I feel that you ought to. I feel that you ought to go. Treating me like I'm the man. I feel like you ought to go. The things that you do with your hands, I feel like you ought to go. The way that you twerk when you dance, I feel that you ought to go. Baby, you showing that's for real to me. And I can't keep it low key. See, everything you do to me is crazy. Two to the dome, you know I came to kill. And all the DJs and beat makers know the drill. Your boy back, they all run like sawmill. This beat was just sent to me, this was a fresh kill. What you ain't know when I